welcome to Novel Expectations. Today I'm coming to you with my 9th weekly wrap-up for 2016. Alright, so let's start with my challenge updates. For my Goodreads challenge, I am currently 2 books ahead of schedule, so that's super exciting. For my 2016 A to Z Author Challenge, I am at 11 out of 26 books, and same with my Title Challenge, 11 out of 26 books. On my How Many Pages Challenge, I have now jumped up to 5,173 pages read this year. And that is because I finished a big book this week. And that actually puts me at 20% of my goal of 25,000 pages. So that's pretty good for the end of February. For my Jelly Belly Jelly Beans Challenge, still no flavors completed. So let's jump into what I read this week. The first book I finished, and I finished this on Friday night, sitting in the parking lot of my complex where I live, because I had like 3 minutes left of the audiobook, and that is Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. It was originally published in 1936, and I gave it 5 stars. I can't even begin to tell you guys how much I love this book, and this is not my first time reading it. I've read it a number of times. It's such an epic book. It is not a love story. I don't feel it's a romance novel, and I know there's a lot of others who feel the same way. There are a lot of key elements that are usually in romance novels that are not found in this book. This is a coming-of-age story as far as I'm concerned. It's a coming-of-age historical fiction. It centers around the Civil War. It pretty much follows Scarlett's life for about 12 years, from the age of 16 to just prior to the Civil War to the age of 28, well after Reconstruction and all that stuff. It is a great historical novel. I can't tell you enough. You need to read this book. It is truly one of the American classics as far as I'm concerned. The characters are just so rich and so well developed. The settings, the plot lines, like you feel like you're there. Margaret Mitchell, for the only novel that she wrote, did an unbelievable job. You hear the characters' voices coming through the page. Now, I did listen to this on audio, and I really, really enjoyed the narrator, and I'm sorry I don't have her name. I'm going to put it right here for you guys. She's fantastic. She is a little slow. So I found, though, I was actually able to speed up the narration to 2 times the normal speed. And at first it sounded a little really quick, but then you kind of get used to it, you know what I mean? And I was fine with it. So what would have been a 50-hour audiobook was kept down to a 25-hour audiobook. Thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed it. Please, guys, if you've never read it, do yourselves a favor. If the book itself makes you nervous because of the size of it, grab it on audio. You know, if you have an Audible account, it's only going to cost you a credit, or $14.95. This is like a $50 audiobook, I think. Totally, totally worth the money. I have read it more than once. I've seen the movie at least a dozen times. Highly, highly recommend this book. Second book I finished this week was actually, and go ahead, you can giggle at this point, Sense and Sensibility, originally written by Jane Austen. This was adapted by Nancy Butler and Sunny Liu. I think he did the graphics. I said earlier this year that one of my goals was to actually read Jane Austen. And I saw this, I was looking to buy one or two of her books on Amazon, and this one popped up, and I thought, how adorable is that? Like, the cover is just gorgeous, and I thought, how much fun to read a graphic novel, and at least it'll get my feet wet, to see if I actually like. It's not her text or her manuscript, if you will. It has been adapted, but I still thought it would be a lot of fun. Well, I actually ended up only giving it 3 stars. The reason I think I've never read Jane Austen, and I know a lot of you are probably going, how can you not like Jane Austen? I am still going to try to read a full Jane Austen novel. But I like historical fiction. I really like historical fiction. I really, really like historical romance. The Regency period, though, I'm not a fan of. I love the Bridgerton series by Julia Quinn because it's not as stuffy, if you will. It's more lighthearted, more fun. It's the stuffiness of that Regency period that I don't like, and I find that's what I found in this book. So I gave this book itself, 3 stars. If I was to reread Sense and Sensibility, the full text, I might up it to 4 stars because the story wasn't bad. But what I didn't care for so much, like, I saw the cover and I thought that is so cute, and I really, really like the illustrations. Well, I didn't care for the interior illustrations. I don't know what it was. I didn't like them. There is a lot of text in this as well, which, I mean, you can fully understand. They adapted, a Jane Austen novel. And then you get these, like, almost like young-looking characters. It was just very, very weird. I didn't care for that at all. I'm still going to keep this because I did enjoy the story, but I don't think I will be picking up any more graphic novels like this. I know a lot of people read graphic novels, and I really do enjoy them. I used to read comic books when I was younger, so I totally get it. But I'm looking for some that, maybe the problem is that there's none that I really truly want to read. I like romance novels, I like historical fiction novels, stuff like that. I'll read pretty much anything, but I'm not big on the superhero stuff. I'm not big on the manga. I'm just not a fan. Sorry, that's just me. Like, is there another niche? Can anyone recommend anything to me? I know that there's one that I've seen a lot of other booktubers reading called Relish, which I think is semi-autobiographical. That one looks like a lot of fun, and I might pick it up, but as it goes now, I don't know if I'll be doing any more adaptations. On to what I'm currently reading. I am still currently reading The Witches of America by Alex Marr. I'm still really enjoying this. It's very, very interesting. I am about 70 pages through it, so I should hopefully finish this in the next few weeks. Like I said, thoroughly enjoying it. I will give you a full review when I'm done. The other book I just started yesterday is The New Girl by R.L. Stine. This is the first book in the Fear Street series. This is my Back to My Childhood book from March. I will probably actually still finish it in February, but that's okay because that'll give me more time to pick another book for the end of March. And the last book I'm currently listening to is Summer at Willow Lake by Susan Wiggs. This is a reread for me, but the first time I have read the audio or listened to the audiobook. I love this story about a girl and a guy who knew each other as children and as teenagers who reconnect as adults, and, you know, where that takes them from there. As it stands right now, and I'm only about a half an hour into the audiobook, I'm not a huge fan of the narrator, but that could change. So I don't like to discount something right off the bat. I like to give it some time. So I'm still going to continue to listen to the entire book, even if I don't care for the narration, because I do love the story. But that will come into account when I do my review when I finished it. Anyway, guys, that's it for me this week. Have you read any of these books, and what did you think about them? Or what are you currently reading this week? I'd love to know. Please post in the comments below. I'll talk to you later. Bye.